नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। षट गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मधुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माय सुदर्शन की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्री श्रीनिवास गोविंद की जय। लक्ष्मी नरसिम्ह देव अनंत देव की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। आल गौरिष्ठ संबुल्ली ओर हरे कृष्ण आल गौरिष्ठ संबुल्ली ओर हरे कृष्ण आल गौरिष्ठ गुरु गौरंगा आल गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद विश्व गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय।
जयनदाई गौरंगा जयनदाई गौरंगा जयनदाई गौरंगा जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय आनंद देव लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय आनंद देव जय श्रीनिवास गोविंद जय गोविंद श्रीनिवास गोविंद जय गोविंद Jai Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jam Vishnupad Brahmans Parivraj Kacharya Sto Darsha His Divine Grace Abhay Charanar Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Thai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtabrayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttima Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text number 15. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti ko vidastasya kona kuryat katharatim. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti ko vidastasya kona kuryat katharatim. Danudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti ko vidastasya kuryat katharatim. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti ko vidastasya kuryat katharatim. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. With sword in hand, intelligent man cut through the winding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? Please repeat the translation. With sword in hand, intelligent man cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? Purport. The contact of the spiritual spark with material elements creates a knot which must be cut if one wants to be liberated from the actions and reactions of ruddy work. Liberation means freedom from the cycle of reactionary work. This liberation automatically follows for one who constantly remembers the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead. This is because all the activities of the Supreme Lord, His Leela, are transcendental to the modes of the material energy. They are all attractive spiritual activities, and therefore constant association with the spiritual activities of the Supreme Lord gradually spiritualizes the conditioned soul and ultimately severs the knot of material bondage. Liberation from material bondage is therefore a byproduct of devotional service. Attainment of spiritual knowledge is not sufficient to ensure liberation. Such knowledge must be overcoated with devotional service so that ultimately the devotional service alone predominates. The liberation is made possible. Even the reactionary work of the fruitive workers can lead one to liberation when it is overcoated with devotional service. Karma overcoated with devotional service is called Karma Yoga. Similarly, empirical knowledge overcoated with devotional service is called Jnana Yoga. But pure Bhakti Yoga is independent of such karma and jnana, because it alone can not only endow one with liberation from conditioned life, but also award one the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, any sensible man who is above the average man with a poor fund of knowledge must constantly remember the personality of Godhead by hearing about Him, by glorifying Him, by remembering Him, and by worshipping Him, always, without cessation. That is the perfect way of devotional service. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, who were authorized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach the Bhakti cult, rigidly followed this rule and made immense literatures of transcendental science for our benefit. They have chalked out ways for all classes of men in terms of the different castes and orders of life in pursuance of the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam and similar other authoritative scriptures. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Navamagyanatimirandasya Jnananjanajalagaya Chakshurunmilidambena Dasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Nama Om Vaishnavadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Bhashya Dadeshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So in the previous verse, the four things were explained. Shrotavya Kirtitavyasya Dhyaya Pujasya Nityada. Tasmad Ekena Manasa Bhagavan Satudam Padihi. With one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of devotees. So when somebody does that, then that is the sword. Yad anudhyasina yuktaha. Yad means which. Those who carries this sword. What sword? Asina means the sword. Yukta, one who is equipped with this sword. And what is that sword is? Anudhya. So this sword is dhyan, remembrance or meditation. So an intelligent man with this sword in hand, anudhyasina yukta, what you can do? You can cut the knot. Karma granthi nibandhanam. So there is a knot, and this knot has to be cut by the sword of dhyan, the meditation on the Lord, remembrance of the Lord. Chindanti ko vidastasya. One can very easily chindanti, cut this karma granthi nibandhanam, this knot of karma granthi, with the sword of anudhyasina, the remembrance of the Lord, meditating on the Lord. Who does this? Chindanti kovidastasya. Tasya, those who are kovida, those who are intelligent, they have this sword of the remembrance of the Lord, and by the sword they can very easily chindanti, cut karma granthi. So intelligent person can do that because he knows this. Ko na kuryat katha ratim. Then who will be the person who will not take katha ratim? Rati means who will not pay attention to this katha, Krishna katha. Because intelligent person knows that this is the sword. This talking about Krishna, remembering Krishna is the sword to cut the hard knot. Kona kuryat katharatim. Who will not pay attention to his message. So this Granthi, this knot is very interesting. Prabhupada is saying here, the contact of the spiritual spark with material elements create a knot which must be cut if one wants to be liberated from the actions and reactions of the fruitive work. So this is karma bandhan. This is the knot, and it begins from the attachment to this material world. And then gradually this material attachment, it increases more and more. So Prabhupada explains that from where this knot comes in the first place, this Granthi, it is like a rope. Somebody is bound by the rope. He can't do anything. He is tied up. So in the same way, we are tied up by this material laws in this world. Now, why we are bound by these material laws? Why somebody has to be bound by the ropes or by the chain? Generally, we see that the criminals, the prisoners, they are bound by the chains and put into the jail. Why? Simple answer is because they are the criminals. They have violated some laws. So that is the root cause. We get bound by this Hridaya Granthi or this Karma Granthi when we become the criminal. So anyone who violate the laws, then immediately he will be bound. So in the same way, all the living entities, we have violated the laws of the God, the laws of material nature, laws of Krishna, and then we are put into this bondage. What is the bondage? This body itself is a bondage. It is like a jail. And then we come here in this material world, and then gradually what happens? A person who is not intelligent, what he will do is put into the jail. So a foolish person, what he will do, he will start making arrangements in the jail. That okay, anyway I am in the jail now, so let me figure out how to get the good food, some good facilities, and all of that. And he becomes so busy in making that arrangement, those arrangements, that he forgets that the goal of life is to come out from the jail. So that is why an intelligent person, he always thinks that how should I come out from the jail? How should I come out from this bondage? This karma granthi nibandhanam. Where is the sword? How can I cut this knot? I am bound here. But the foolish people, and most of us are like that foolish category, we have forgotten the goal of life. We are nicely making the arrangements. This is what is the Maya. So Prabhupada explains Maya two functions. How the Maya traps the person? There are two functions of Maya. Avranatmika Shakti, Prakshepatmika Shakti. So the first step of Maya is Avrana. Person is covered. He forgets that I am in the jail. I am stuck here. I am bound. I should get free. So Maya say, no, you are enjoying here. So we are thinking that, oh, this body is so nice, nice senses, and so many sense objects. I should be enjoying here nicely. So this is Maya, illusory energy. Right? And we get more and more bound here in this material world. And then Prakshepatmika Shakti. Prakshepatmika Shakti means, Prakshepat means to launch, to throw. So once it is covered, and then Maya throws him into the dark delusion, where he completely forget Krishna. And then he think, okay, this is what is my life is. This world, my family, and my kids, and everything about, the body, and this attachment keep increasing more and more. And how it increases, Bhagavatam explains this. Pumsa striya muthinu bhavam etam tayor mitho hridaya grantin mahur ato graha kshetra sutap vittar janasya mohoyam aham mameti. So this is how this knot becomes tight. He gets more and more bound. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam etat. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of this material existence. So as soon as the living entity accepts the body, either male or female, then immediately there is attraction toward the opposite sex. And that has been created by the illusory energy to increase that knot more and more, tighten that knot more and more. Pumsa striya mithuni bhava metad. Tayor mito hridaya granthi mahur. And when they come together, male and female, and there is a misconception, and which ties together the hearts of the male and female. As soon as the male and female come together, they unite. That granthi becomes even more tight. The goal of life is to cut this knot. But everybody is busy in tightening that knot more and more and more instead of cutting. That is why the people are not considered as intelligence. Chindanti kovidastasya. Those who are kovida, those who are intelligent, they will think, they will plan, they'll inquire how to cut this knot. But those who are foolish, those who are ignorant, those who are in illusion, they will do the things which creates that knot even further. So this is first thing, and Prabhupada very nicely explains here. Says, one becomes, on the basis of the misconception which ties together the hearts of the male and female. And it doesn't stop there. There is a knot, male and female come together. But you see that how it is so, ironically it is designed in such a way that this knot will increase more and more. It is not just male and female. Then what happens immediately after that? Atha grah kshetra sutapa vittir. Next level. One is male-female attachment. Then graha, kshetra, sutta, apta, vittir. One becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, wealth. See, this is one after another. One knot, another knot, another knot. So many knots. As opposed to cut one knot, he is increasing more and more knots. And that is why Prabhupada explains in one place, the stri, the word stri, means expansion. Now many times people think, oh, this it sounds like you are all biased people, you are just blaming the females, the stri. What is our fault? What we have done? Why you are making into, the culprit? So the point is, we have to see the broader meaning. Stri means basically, it is not just female. The broader meaning of stri is, it is which, actually it's for male it's female, and for female it is male, the opposite sex. This is how. So the technical term has been used in the scriptures is Purusha and Prakriti. Enjoyer and the enjoyed. So somebody you think this is, I want to enjoy. The object for enjoyment. In one sense that is called stri. So for a male it can be female. For female it can be male. When they come together, male and female, then all this graha kshetra sudaba vittar janasya mohoyam aham ameti. In this way, one increases life's illusion and thinks in terms of aham ameti, I and mine. So this is the knot. Prabhupada explains in the purport. Due to the entangling relationship between man and women, there is a sense of illusion whereby one thinks this man is my husband or this woman is my wife. This is called Hridaya Granthi, the hard knot in the heart. This knot is very difficult to undo. There are so many other knots, but Prabhupada very specifically mentioned one of the purport. He says this family attachment is very, very difficult. It's a difficult knot to undo, to cut. There are so many other knots, sense enjoyment in so many different ways. But especially this attraction between male and female, it's a very, very strong attachment. Prabhupada says here, the attachment to the family is the strongest illusion. Most people are bound by the knots of the material relationship, and consequently they forget their relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the Vedic civilization is to educate from the very beginning the child to practice brahmacharya, basic principles. Prahlad Maharaj also says, Kaumaram achrit pragna dharman bhagavataniya. So from the very beginning of our life, one should be trained, one should be educated, not to get more and more entangled into this knot. Unlike in this modern age, you see that how in such a young age, the small kids, they are into all this, boyfriend, girlfriend, attraction towards opposite sex, all kinds of things. So much knowledge being created. Like they are very, very far from this reality of Krishna consciousness if they get into all these things from the early age. So that is why the Vedic system was, they are protected. The children were protected from all this contamination, from all this exposure. When they go to the Gurukul, they are kept in a protected environment under the guidance of the Guru. And then right value system, the right education is imparted to them. So this knot is not there from the very beginning. Right. So here the same thing is explained. Yad anudhyasina yukta, simply by chanting or hearing or meditating upon Krishna, yad anudhyasina yukta, karma granthi nibandanam. So this knot has to be cut by a knife or by a sword. So what is that sword? So actually you see, interestingly, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, many places this word has been used, asinaha. Asina means the sword. There is this verse in the Bhagavad Gita. The knowledge of Bhagavad Gita has the 4 different characteristics which has been described by Krishna. It is compared to, anybody knows what are the 4 items the knowledge is compared to? Okay, so one is the knowledge is compared to the fire. Jnana Agni Dagdha Karmanam. In the fire of knowledge, all the Karmanam will be burned into ashes. So that's one, fire. Another item, Krishna explains that this knowledge is compared to the boat. Jnana Plaveneva. Plava means the boat. So this knowledge is compared to the boat to cross over this material existence. Number 1 is fire. The knowledge can turn all the karma into ashes. Then it is like a boat. It can help one to cross over. So fire, boat. And what is one more item? There is one more. And the 4th is this. Sword. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam hirdastham jnana sinatmanaha chitvenam samshayam yogam atistitostosta bharata. So Krishna says, therefore the doubts which has arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. So this knowledge is jnana asinatmanaha. So knowledge is also compared to the asinaha, the boat. And there is one more item actually, I am forgetting. So it is fire, boat, something, I think it will come. It will come, I will let you know. Okay. So this is the sword. We should use the sword. So this sword has been given here also. Yad anudhyasina yukta. So what is the sword? Dhya. Dhya means dhyan. So Prabhupada says, this is the knife. This is the sword. What is the sword? Prahlad Maharaj explains, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Asmaranam Bhadasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dashyam Sakyam Atmanevedanam. When we start to hear about Krishna, talk about Krishna, Shravanam Kirtanam happens sufficiently, then what will happen? Smaranam will happen. The dhyan, the remembrance, the meditation will happen. If we don't hear enough, we don't talk enough about Krishna, where is the possibility of meditating on remembering Krishna? So this is why Prabhupada has given us this process, that our morning program is all about the Shravanam and Kirtanam. Nicely we chant, nicely we do the Kirtan, hear Krishna Katha every day, something goes, then some remembrance may come. Right. So this is the power of this dhyan. Now this dhyanam is also very interesting item. Krishna talks about this dhyan in Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse. What is that verse? Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pujayate. So this is dhyan only. This is the remembrance or meditation on the sense object by which one develops the attachment for that object. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. Vishaya means the object. When somebody start to meditating, thinking, remembering again and again, that results in Sangaste supajayade. Upajayade means it generates the sanga, the attachment. So this is the power of dhyan. What this verse is talking, anudhyasina yuktaha. So we are trying to understand this, how this dhyan works. So when you start meditating, start putting your dhyan onto some sun subject, you will develop the attachment for that object. So having understood this principle, we should very intelligently, what we should do is, we should change our object of our dhyan. Instead of meditating, thinking, talking, remembering so much about all these worldly objects, worldly things, we should more and more talk about Krishna. So this is the power of dhyan. So when we start meditating on Krishna, in the same way, we'll develop attachment for Krishna. No, it's a very nice verse. Prabhupada quotes in one of the purport in the Bhagavad Gita. Says, Darshan dhyana samsparsher matsya kurma vihangamaha swanya patyani pushnanti tataham api padmaja. So it's a very interesting thing. Say darshan dhyana samsparsher matsya kurma vihangamaha. See what happens? By vision, darshan, dhyan, by meditation, and sparsha, by touch. So the fish, by vision, the kurma, the tortoise, by dhyan, and the birds by touch, they maintain their offspring. So by vision, by meditation, and by touch only do the fish, the tortoise, and the birds maintain their offspring. Similarly, do I also, O Padmaja. So Prabhupada explains in the purport. The fish brings up its offspring simply by looking at them. There is a power in everything. Just by vision, the offspring comes. The tortoise brings up its offspring simply by meditation. See so much power in meditation. The tortoise, it just meditate and it impregnate. No, we are not checked, but Prabhupada is writing that in the purport. So, and it is quoted from the scriptures. The eggs of the tortoise are laid on land, and the tortoise meditates on the eggs while in the water. Similarly, it's not impregnation, I think. It is meditation on taking this one out from the shell. So the eggs of the tortoise are laid on land, and the tortoise meditates on the eggs while in the water. Similarly, a devotee in Krishna consciousness, although far away from the Lord's abode, can elevate himself to that abode simply by thinking of him constantly by engagement in Krishna consciousness. He does not feel the pangs of material miseries. This state of life is called Brahma Nirvana, or the absence of material miseries due to being constantly immersed in the Supreme. See, just by meditating on the Lord, we can transport ourselves to the spiritual world. That is the power of this dhyan. So that is what has been described here. Yad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam. Somebody is engaged in this dhyan, in meditation, chanting, remembering, engaging in devotional service. Then that person, though we are here in this material world, but we are free from this bondage. Right, Prabhupada explains in one of the purport in the second chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Let me just pull out that verse. It is, I think, the second last verse of the second chapter. I think 72. The Prabhupada says there, if one fortunately becomes Krishna conscious, he at once attains the stage of Brahma Nirvana. And then Prabhupada explained, there is no difference between the kingdom of God and the devotional service of the Lord, since both of them are on the absolute plane. To be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is to have attained the spiritual kingdom. In the material world, there are activities of sense gratification, whereas in the spiritual world, there are activities of Krishna consciousness. Attainment of Krishna consciousness, even during this life, is immediate attainment of Brahman, and one who is situated in Krishna consciousness certainly already entered into the kingdom of God. So this is the power of this process. So simply by engaged in devotional service, meditating on Krishna, thinking of Krishna, talking of Krishna, we are actually transported to the spiritual world. So this is what automatically happens. Yad anudyasena yukta karma granthi nibandhanam. So if we are nicely engaged, then very easily we can cut this knot of karma granthi. And who will do this? Kovidaha, those who are intelligent people. Foolish people will never understand all this. They will always argue. What is this? You are simply sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. What will happen? Many times people, blames the devotees. What you guys are, simply sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. Why can't you do something meaningful? Do something. What will happen with just simply by chanting Hare Krishna? So the foolish people can never understand what one can attain just by simply meditating on Krishna, thinking about Krishna, chanting about Krishna. So much you can attain. And that is the highest attainment one can have. People are working hard and they're thinking by our hard work we are attaining so many things. But they miss out that no hard work. Simply sit, meditate, chant, hear, and then engage in devotional service. Doing that, you can attain the highest thing which is available in this human form of life. But those who are duskratinaha, namam duskratino muda, prapadyante naradama, maya bhardhagyana, asurim bhavam, ashritaha. So these four categories of people, they will never be able to appreciate all this. They'll always argue. But we have the examples. Prabhupada showed to the whole world. This is simply by chanting Hare Krishna, a hippie can turn into happy. Right? The American government, they were spending so much money, millions of dollars, to help those people to get them out of this addiction and so many other things, bad habits. Nothing worked out. But when Prabhupada came and Prabhupada taught them chanting Hare Krishna and doing the kirtan, they became first class devotees. All their knots of illusion, everything was cut just by this chanting, remembering, engaging in devotional service. So this is the sword given. So we should become intelligent and then nicely use this sword to cut this knot. So this sword is this devotional service, yadanudyasena yukta karma granthi nibandhanam. And when a devotee gradually starts developing the higher taste, then there's no interest in all those worldly things and worldly objects for sense gratification. This is what these hippies got. They used to eat all kind of rubbish things. They used to engage in all kinds of illicit activities. But when Prabhupada gave them the higher taste of Krishna consciousness, right, Krishna Prasadam, nicely cooked, the puris and halwa, cooked nicely in ghee, and cooked by a pure devotee, they never had that taste in their life. But when they tasted it, they know that taste can attract. So in the same way, the goal of devotee should be that how we can develop this higher taste. Sometimes we can be in Krishna consciousness and we keep doing the things very ritualistically. And after many, many years, still we wonder like there is no taste developed yet. We should be very contemplative. We should think, contemplate, ask question to ourselves. Do I have some genuine taste in any of the aspect of Krishna consciousness? It can be chanting, that we naturally feel very excited about chanting. Oh, now morning and I want to chant. I don't know like how many of us we feel like that. That excitement. Whatever little bit excitement is there in the morning, when as soon as people sit for the chanting, that excitement turn into the sleep. That is a sign there's no taste had developed, right? Or it can be anything. If it is not chanting, of course, developing the taste for chanting is a great thing, and which has to come by the mercy of the Nama Prabhu. It will come if we are sincerely keep trying. But some of the aspects, it can be about hearing. We should ask the question, am I excited about hearing Krishna Katha? Oh, now Bhagavatam class is happening, and naturally we should feel like that excitement is coming or not. Oh, what today Bhagavatam is going to give a message, some important point. Shall I take the notes? And I should remember, oh, these are the 3 points that I resonated, in this class. And I want to share with others. These are all the symptoms of excitement. So we should very consciously think sometime, do we do any of those things? Oh, today Bhagavatam happens. These are the few points. It was very nice. I want to learn more about this. Let me go and read and, search a little bit more. And I want to share with others. And it is on top of your mind. And as soon as you find the opportunity, immediately you grab the opportunity to share with others. That is a sign of excitement. But if that is not happening, we should look back and check what is happening. What is my attitude? The Bhagavatam is happening, it is another tick mark. Sitting, waiting when it will get over. Looking around, checking mobile phones. And, it is too long. Can we stop in between? If that is the kind of thing is happening, then there is something serious to work on for all of us. That knot is still so strong, it's not allowing us to develop some taste. So this knot has to cut. There's so much interest, the taste in all other things. Especially in this modern age, this mobile is a big culprit. The natural attraction. Every few seconds our mind goes into that, our fingers goes into this. Right? So a devotee should very consciously try to make some arrangement that early this morning program, the other day also, the Madhu Pandit Prabhu's one small 15-20 minutes, this thing was there. We should listen, those who are not listened that. He was explaining the importance of sadhana. So that is the backbone of a devotee. If that taste is not there in the sadhana, sadhana is just like we have to finish somehow. 8 o'clock, 8:30, chalo over. If that is the kind of attitude, subtly, then something is seriously wrong for all of us to think and work on. So Prabhupada has given this powerful sword to all of us. Morning 5 to 9, it should be like complete focus on sadhana, nothing else. These 100 ideas can come in our mind. Oh, let me do this, let me finish this. And MVP says nicely, right? All the great ideas comes during this time only. Morning, especially chanting time. All wonderful ideas. You're chanting the holy name. All ideas, let me finish this, let me send a message. And something, let me go there and check something in between. Everything you want to do during that 3-4 hours. But it is a very, very serious problem. One should constantly keep reminding ourselves, meditating, that okay, this is what is my tapasya. There's no more tapasya is given to us. Our tapasya is this 5 to 9, just be strict in the temple hall. Whether you feel like doing or you feel that temptation to just go out, move out, check mobile and remember of doing some important thing, this, that, somehow or other suppress all of that and then just ground yourself in this 3-4 hours. Chanting, hearing your chanting is done, read Prabhupada books, hear attentively, take notes, and you'll see it will not take long. I think most of us, we have the first-hand experience of doing this, but then Maya is also powerful. Sometime when we nicely chant, we hear and we take nice notes, and all of that, you feel so enthused spiritually. Oh, it was so nice, whole day. Some days we are very dull. So this is a little tapasya for all of us, and it is ongoing tapasya. But we should be very, very consciously keep reminding ourselves, where is my attention, where is my dhyan is going? My dhyan is supposed to go into Krishna, but my dhyan is going into 100 other things. And when actual service time comes, that time our dhyan is going into something else. So during chanting time we think of service. During service, because of that the chanting is pending. Then during service we'll keep thinking, oh my God, that many rounds are pending. I had to finish. They're not the best thing to do. Chanting means chanting. Hearing means hearing. So morning sadhana program we should do, and that is the higher taste. It has to come. See, initially it is okay. Nobody even talks that when we are very new to Krishna consciousness. But when we spend some number of years, we should be very, very contemplative. Then what is happening? This many years has already passed. Where is my taste? Let me check. Where is my taste? Is it in chanting? It is in reading Prabhupada's books? Is it in hearing Bhagavatam or doing some Krishna Katha, preaching? Where is my taste going? Right. Somebody said, no, my taste is on service only. Yes, that should also be there, but that should be only during service time, not sadhana time. So like that, when we gradually develop this param drashta nivartate, then this is a powerful sword that we'll be carrying to cut the knot. Right, and then we'll experience when we nicely engage in Bhakti Yoga as per given by Srila Prabhupada. Morning sadhana program, daytime we do the service, then evening again reading or hearing the sandwich programs. Prabhupada says, when we do that, then what happens? Bhagavatam confirm this. Symptoms are there. We should experience those symptoms. Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir anyatrashyat. Tusti pusti chudapayo. So there are three things. When a person who is hungry, when he start eating, then three symptoms will manifest. Tusti. Tusti means the satisfaction will come. Hungry person eating food, he will very satisfied. Pusti, nourishment, he get the energy. And Shuddhapayo, then all his hunger will be gone. So in the same way, when we do the bhakti, so then we should experience this. Pareshanu bhavo viraktir. There should be virakti. Virakti means something which is not favorable for my Krishna consciousness. I'm not interested in that. That should come automatically. Right? That is the symptom of the bhakti. Pareshanu bhavo. There is anubhav, there is experience of the Lord, Lord's reciprocation. Like that. So everything can be tested and we should test ourselves. It cannot be just casual, ritualistically just doing day after day, years gone by, and we never checked our progress. And at the end of the day we'll be wondering like, oh my God, so many years, where is my taste? So better we do this. So yeah, this is the process here. Yad anudyasina yukta karma granthi nibandanam. This granthi has to be cut. There's so much of granthi, there's so many knots, and we have to chindanti. We have to cut this. And the process of this is yad anudyasina. Dhyan, remembrance, meditation. Ko na kuryat katharatim. Who will not pay attention? Bhagavatam says only one type of person will not pay attention. Anybody knows that who is that one type of person who will not pay attention to this Krishna Katha, which is so sweet, so nectarian? So it is said, Puman virajyeta vina pashugna. That person is said as pashugna, the killer of pashu. One who is like a butcher, he is very, very sinful. He will not be able to pay attention to all these things. But also Prabhupada explains, killer of the soul. Pashugna means one who decided already to kill the soul. That person will only not be interested in all of that. Right? If somebody is not paying attention to Krishna Katha, he becomes the Pashugna, the killer of the soul. We are killing our soul. So we should not become that. So these are some of the thoughts. Anybody has any quick question or any comment on what we discussed, or anybody wants to share some thoughts? Okay, yeah, that is a very important question that we are talking about. We should be excited about the things. So naturally all of us have some excitement for something. but our excitement is unidirectional, like, oh, this is only thing which excites me, then it needs to be little closely, watched out. It might be some anartha. So yes, excitement is good. We'll try to dovetail that excitement. Like somebody is very excited about kirtan. You always want to do kirtan. Somebody is very excited about doing something. It can be anything. Talking to people all the time, for example. Right. So that is good. We try to dovetail that. But it cannot be, excitement is good, but it should not become our excitement. Our excitement, when I mean, it should not compromise your other important activities. Like say somebody wants to talk to people. So during sadhana time, there's a lot of people in the temple, it's just talking only. Oh, there's a lot of visitors are coming. Let me talk to them. Say, what about your chanting? That I'll do at 10 o'clock in the night. Now, this kind of excitement is not encouraged. For everything, there has to be the right balance. So, sadhana time, you be excited about sadhana. Unless you have some assigned service. And assigned means it is not self-assigned. Authority should assign. Sometimes, we assign ourselves. This time I should do this. These are all anarthas. It is just a symptom of we have no taste for all these things. That is why I am finding some taste into something else. That is a sign. So during chanting time, if my mind is going into doing something, and we are very good in justifying that, oh, this is very important. It is simply the sign of you have no taste, no interest in chanting, reading, kirtan, Bhagavatam. And that is why we are finding it is a escape way. And we are very good in, quoting it with the name of service. Oh, my service is there. Who has assigned you that service? Should be the question. If your authority comes and says, okay, you do this, like some pujari has to decorate the deities, they might have to miss the kirtan, the part of the Bhagavatam or something. That is assigned a service. But otherwise, we are just feeding our anarthas only by doing that. So that is why Prabhupada says that, this program, and then we keep hearing so many times, especially from, our senior leaders, that this morning program is the backbone. Whatever we do, we don't know, like it is really the service attitude or it is just feeding my anarthas. But morning program should not be compromised. We do nicely, it is a kavach created. It's a protective layer. After that, we do some seva. Whole days they are not do seva. How much seva we will do? After 9, morning 9 till night 9, 12 hours, do how much seva you can do. So like that. So it is very important that we learn to prioritize the things. Otherwise, in the name of all this doing service and all that, we just keep compromising on some essential elements of our sadhana bhakti, and then we have to suffer the consequences later. It won't come, it will not come that easy. The chanting, that interest for chanting and all of that. It's not going to come that easy. How many of you really feel like, oh, I get so excited about reading Prabhupada books? There might be few devotees. But many of the devotees, they are like, tick mark. Chalo, done. And for most of them, there is no tick mark also. It is blank only. No reading is happening. It's a very serious problem. I remember that, that Madhuban proves, a small clip came where he was saying that 5 hours something he was explaining, right? It's a 2 hour chanting, fully focused 2 hour chanting. 2 hours reading of Srila Prabhupada books. And 1 more hour he said something. 1 hour, maybe more sadhana. Like 5 hours program he said. If you do this, your spiritual life will be very joyful. Otherwise, we have to deal with so many other things. This problem, that problem, interpersonal problems, mind problem, so many problems because we are not taking the medicine. Okay, so we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nidai Gaur Premanande.